So basically with DigitalOcean, what I had to do is, get some other information too. I had to get my API key. And so with that being said, with getting that API key, let me bring this over so you can see. So you could type API keys, DigitalOcean. I meant to type ocean, but hey, that works too. So here you'll get your API keys from DigitalOcean. Now, what I did notice about this is the documentation is off compared to the API. So things, certain commands work and certain commands don't work, is what I've noticed. So like it walk you through here on getting your API key, then you export it to your token, and then you're able to run like a curl get or something of that nature. If you want to create multiple VMs or instances, you can do that here. But what I notice is it's easier for me to do this all in Ansible because since I'm doing this all in Ansible, I can kind of I can it look it just it's just a better look and feel, like versus me taking this and cutting and pasting and putting it into a command line, and the way it returns things, it's kind of garbled, so it's not really a easy look and feel. But they have providers inside of Ansible for DigitalOcean. So what I did was I went ahead and said, well, there's two things. You can look at that, but you can also look at the providers that they have. So basically, here I'm able to take what they have listed here as far as the in their provider, and I can go through and say, okay, I want to create a droplet. I could tell it the zone to be in, the size of it, and so forth. And if you never ever seen DigitalOcean before, let me pull that out for you. All right, so let's go back here to droplets. And if I want to create a droplet, I come here, I do droplets, create droplets, and then it does this thing, and then it gives me these options. So I don't want to sit here and click through all these options, selecting my version and so forth. But what I can do with the API calls, I can find out what sizes I have available. I can find out if that particular region has block storage available. I can set up private networking. I can set up SSH keys. I can set up new SSH keys for my local box. Like I could do like a SSH key gen on my local box. Once I do that SSH key gen, I can provide that SSH key as one of the keys to log in with, and then assign it a host name. So what you see here, um, let's look at create instance here, which is this one here. And I'm gonna have to change my SSH key, my API key, because this will be public information, but I could do that. So here, you see I'm creating a droplet, and I spelled that wrong. So creating a droplet, and then giving it a name, and then I chose it to be 32 gigs. Now, the caveat here with doing it out in DigitalOcean, according to the documentation for OpenStack, OpenStack says you need to be a minimum of 4 gigs. So I said I thought I was doing something fancy by making it 8 gigs. I finally figured out what my problem was. Whenever I tried to create an instance, it would error out. And I walked through how to do log files, how to do traces in log files today, but it wasn't enough memory. I was running out of memory. So yesterday I said, "Ooh, I'm gonna be fancy and go 32 gigs." But today I'm gonna scale it down and do 16 gigs and see if the 16 gig one works. And if the 16 gig ones, then if you're going to create something out of DigitalOcean, the minimum should be 16 gigs, because I know 8 fails. So let's change this to 16 gigs here. And then let's change the name to study-2. and we're gonna keep the SSH. This is just a my SSH ID. That's what I named it. Um, that's what it returns to me inside of the API while using the DigitalOcean API calls. And this debug didn't work when I tried to get my droplet name back, but I'm not sure why it didn't work. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see if this one will work. Study dash two droplet IP address. Okay. So now I'm just going to do an Ansible playbook, and I'm going to create YAML, create instance YAML. All right, it's going to go through, it's going to gather facts, it's going to do its thing. Let me pull back up my screen here. Not that one. Let's go over to droplets. And now you see study 2 is going. Let's see, it's 16 gigs, 116 is in New York too. It's going to do its thing. All right. So while it's doing this thing, I also already went ahead and created um, um, two things. I created another YAML file or another playbook to create the instance. What you really want to do is, okay, it's erroring out. Let's see, what is it telling me here? See, that's that debug. And it's erroring out on the debug as a variable is undefined, but my droplet got created. So my
I
droplet
think I
is
know what I think I
what
know what's going on with that. And Ansible is based on Python, and dash is not a valid character for file name, so I think it'll work all the way. You'll get your debugs to work if you do an underscore two instead of a dash, because
oh,
underscore is allowed for variable names in Python, but not dashes.
okay, let's try it.
Yeah, yeah,
And let's change it to 3.
yeah. And also down there.
One more.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see. Tim is calling my bluff. This is what live training is about. Let's go. Let's see if Tim got this right. Who's voting on Tim before I kick this off? You can just raise your hand. I can see it. Nobody? Okay, Tim, if you got this, then I'm gonna make sure you get some free DigitalOcean. All right. You
Okay,
you ready?
let's
All
see.
right. Boom. Let's go. We're rolling with it. Oh, what happened? It doesn't like underscores from DigitalOcean. So you
We'll
might have
just
been right, but
okay.
DigitalOcean
Get,
doesn't like underscores.
okay, I'll get rid of both kinds of punctuation then.
Let's
Never
let's
mind with having.
let's do
We'll change
just
it to 34 without the dash. Or
yeah. Let's just do study 3. Let's see. Right here
mm-hmm.
and right here.
Yes.
All right. Going back in. Clear the screen here. Running. See what happens. All right. It looks like it's going. Let's refresh here. All right. Study 3 is going. Let's see if it errors out on us. All
Don't
right.
forget to
So,
do
like I was saying, I already have a file created to actually install OpenStack, but I've walked through the answer file before, but I want to show you some stuff that you're gonna need when you're doing. It's still error out, so it's something about the way they're set up. I have to look at
okay.
that, but um, in terms of, I can destroy this too. Well, no, no, let's no, we don't need it
You
because we
get rid of the
already have
dashboard.
one. All right, so we have OpenStack study 2. Let me get the IP address of that because I need that for us to log in. So when we do Ansible, Ansible has the host file, and you can stick this actually inside the host file itself, but I am not going to, I mean, inside the playbook itself, but I'm not going to do that today. Cheat and go here. I don't have that one anymore. All right. So I'm going to run this Ansible Openstack.yaml, but I want to view this first. All right. In here, as you can see, I went with the Newton release 5, which is the latest and greatest for the setting up the repo. And then I cheated because I said I did a yum update command, but there is a provider for yum for Ansible. I spelled that wrong. There you go. All right, so we could do a yum. I don't want to update the cache. I want it to update everything. So here, upgrade all packages. So I could have just did this same way I did there. But I was just showing in the command line. On the command, you can type the command. So let's do the provider for yum. Oh, let's leave a name. Got that right. And then yum. Um, name. Make sure they line up. If they don't line up, and I'm doing this in Vim, so I don't get all the little pretty things if I was in Sublime. So let's go here. And then let's get rid of command. Actually, let's get rid of that. And let's go state latest. Give myself some room. All right. Now, in this file, what I did was there's a couple of things. When you run OpenStack, you can do what they call a pack stack for CentOS. And if you're doing it for Ubuntu, it's a dev stack. So let's look up dev stack, OpenStack. And I'll post this link when someone's feeling adventurous. This is for Ubuntu. And then this one, Packstack, OpenStack, is this one. Go to that link. You want that link. So basically, what I did was here is I took what you see here. So they have it for real. But what I did was the test is based on Newton. Newton, the latest and greatest is Octa. So what I did was I went here to the repos and I found out here's Newton, and then I went last modified, and as I said, okay, I want this release here, this Newton release. So when you look back here, that's what this line comes from here. All right. So when you install OpenStack, you can do all-in-one. You can do what they call pack stack dash all-in-one install, and it installs everything. All right. Or you can generate an answer file and you can customize it. So over in /root, here is an example of an answer file that got created from one of the ones I was working on. So it installs your private key. It takes that private key and it sets it up so that you can SSH to all your machines. Well, that's really cool because now my Ansible is already set up. So the next one is what you want to install. Do you want to install Glance, which is your image server, Cinder, which is your block storage? Manila is not the core of OpenStack, Cinder, Glance, and Swift. Cinder, Glance, Swift, Nova are all core OpenStack. So you don't have to install Manila if you don't want to. And you may ask, what is Manila? I forget it off the top of my head. Manila OpenStack. So Manila OpenStack. Do do do. Is that the file share? Do 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 do. Okay, it's file sharing. So it's. I think it's the size here. Yeah, yeah. So, and this is, and this is what's a little different about OpenStack versus AWS and all that. You kind of pick and choose what you want to build out, so it kind of customize it. Like they even have OpenStack for containers, which is your oh God, Magna, is that what it's called? Magnum. Yes, it's Magnum. OpenStack Magnum. So basically, you're taking. Let me get out of here. Basically, you're taking OpenStack and putting your entire infrastructure in containers. So you'll build out your cluster and put everything in containers, which is cool. All right, so let's get back to this. So in here in my answer file, I go through and I select, what I want to be in my stack. I also set up the EPEL as well and a time server. And you can go, we could go through this another time, but I also provided a link before on what each individual one means. And the best place to go to find that is Red Hat's documentation. I recommend their documentation to everybody because they're pretty thorough. Uh, Red Hat, OpenStack, variables. All right. Uh, Not environment variables. Let me see. Yeah, that's going to the wrong one. It may be this. RC file. No, no, no. We don't want the RC file. We want the answer file. All right, here it is. All right, so they go through and they talk about what each one is. I'll post this over here so in case you ever want to just look at it for light reading. All right. So, all right. So in here, I kind of answered some files, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to answer the files. We're going to let, according to our DigitalOcean, OpenStack install. Oh, I'm in the wrong directory. That's why. And while this does this install, I'll show you the one I already get. In here, we generate an answer file. And then we use the packstack the answer file with root answer.txt to go through and actually set up everything we need. So we're going to run this. So we're going to do an Ansible playbook. And then we're going to just do OpenStack install.yaml. However, before we do, let me cat etc Ansible hosts. And I want this one here. And I'm going to open up another terminal. And I am going to go green on that. And let's go here. And then let's SH here. No, not you. What was it again? Oh yeah, that was it. All right. All right, then we're going to do a tail-f on var log messages. because Ansible writes everything to var log messages. All right, did it clear? Yeah. Oh no, I hope I didn't mess up my file. I don't think I did. Let's go move this up. Okay, yeah, I didn't. All right, so now we're gonna do an Ansible playbook, and then we're gonna do Openstack Install.yaml. It's gonna go out and gather its facts, does its thing, setting up repos, so forth and so on. As you can see here, over in I'm on the box right here, and you can see it's doing its thing. It's installing, so we know that it's running. All right, we're gonna let that run. The results of that run is this. All right. So the result of that run is this here. So I have another instance open. Like I said, this is the 32 gig one. The other one is a 16 gig one. We're going to test to see if you just need 16 gigs or if you need 32 gigs to do this out in DigitalOcean. So I logged in. When you are, let's go here. Let's open up another terminal. This should work. Can you guys see that? Ladies and gents. Is that painful on the eyes there? It's a bit small. How about that?
Yeah, definitely make it bigger, please.
Is that better?
Yes.
Uh, all right. So what I want to show you here is over inside of the root directory once OpenStack gets done installing, and it does it in your home directory basically. You get what we call Keystone Admin or Keystone Demo. All that comes from that answer file. So if you go back into the answer file and you look up demo, you're telling it to set up the authentication for demo. You're also telling it to set up the configuration for demo. Everything is based on this answer file. Okay, so now in my Keystone admin, that's my login information. So if I go inside my Keystone admin, I'll see, my auth URL I connect with and my username and password. And that's going to happen on the one we just ran. And that's actually existing on the one we already have up, which is on 192 something. So let's go back here to DigitalOcean. Is it there? Oh, I'm not logged in on this one. Let's find out where it's at. Nope. Here. All right, this one here. All right, let's minimize that. Let's get the black screen back up because I think everyone can see that. It's clear. And let's SSH to that one. All right, so if I cat Keystone admin, you'll see here's my username and here's my password. And you can set the password up in that file too. It doesn't have to be something this garbled, but you can set that up. So let's go here. And I have that one up already. Was it 192? Yep, let's go there. It's going to take forever to spin. Admin, have that password saved, and then we log in. So we're logged in. You can see here's my projects and so forth and so on. So let's see if that actually is true from command line. So let's clear. So what I normally do, and I recommend anybody who's going to take the test or try this, they do the same thing, is you do Openstack Complete and run that over to a file called complete. Why? Because you want to be able to do tab completions. All right. So now you just source the file, which is your admin file, and then let's source complete. So now I can type OpenStack double tab and I'll get everything that I need. Now before we just saw a list of projects, right? Now let's check on our other stuff too, right? Let's make sure that's doing this thing. You know, it's over here installing, so we know it's still going. So let's minimize that. But we see these list of projects here. So let's see if this is true, that these projects are actually listed. So let's do OpenStack. And the way OpenStack works is it's OpenStack, the actual name of the command that you want to use, and then the action of that. So it's OpenStack project and dash dash help, and it'll give me a list of options that are associated with project. In this case, I want to do OpenStack project list. So now it's giving me a list of projects, and it says admin, demo, and services. So we see projects, admin, demo, and services. So that's true. If I want to get a list of, let's do OpenStack. What else do we have a list of? We can do an OpenStack network. Is that up in here? Yep, network list. Or I could have did dash dash help to see what I was associated with network. But it's going out and giving me a list of networks that I have. I have a private network and a public network available. But like in true form, it's just like doing anything from command line, right? I could take all of this instead of writing all this stuff out and manually. I can actually build Ansible scripts to do things that I want to do. So inside of, I was studying with Linux Academy. Um, so I'm gonna bring this over. This is like the final test right here. Like I finished everything, and I went through this whole lab here, and I actually wrote everything out like it should be. And now I'm going back and writing everything out in Ansible scripts just to get practice and set up roles. So that way, if I have to say, hey, here's a lab for you to study and do a study for the COA exam, you can study for the COA exam. You can set it up yourself. But anyway, one thing I did notice is inside my lab with my install, I'm not able to create domains. So I don't know if that's something new in Newton in this particular version that I grabbed that I can't. But everything else I can do. I can upload images. I can make compute resources. I can make a network sender, Swift, heat, and check log files. So let's go over back over to here, um, and let's clear. So what I did notice is when I was making my instances, I could never ever get them to deploy all the way, and that was because I was running out of memory. So when I do a free dash G, I see that I got 19 gigs available. And I set this up as a 32 gig one, right? So let's create an instance from command line, and let's make sure it's inside. We sourced our admin project, and when I say that, I'm speaking here. If you look here, these are where your projects are. Over here is where your users are. So if I went over here to identity and went to users, I have a list of users. So every service is gets stored in a database as a user. So these are all users, but really admin is the user and demo is the actual user. These right here are services. This Swift, Nova, Sender, Ganache, Salameter, Glance, they're all services within OpenStack. So let's go over to my command line and let's actually launch an instance from command line inside my admin project. Now I'm already halfway there because I sourced my admin file, which was this one here, the Keystone admin. So I'm already associated within that project and have permissions within that project. So in order to create an instance, we have to do OpenStack. You can do double tab to see what's available to you, and you can see you have OpenStack server dash dash help. Now let's look at that. Okay, you see I have a list of stuff, but I know I want to create, so I'm most definitely I'm going to do OpenStack server create, and I'm going to do dash dash help because I have some information that I need to find out. By doing this, I know that I need to find out, I need to tell it the image name, if I want a volume associated with it, the flavor, the security group associated with, um, the availability zone that I want to have with it, the network that I want to have with it. So I have some information that I need to find out first. And the information that I need to find out first, I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to put it in the text editor. All right. And I'm pull this offline so that we can, and then I'll bring it back over. Any questions so far? I never asked.
I do have a question about the OpenStack. Is this merely a set of packages that you install into a VM that you get somewhere else?
So each individual one is it works like this. It's a pack. So this one is a pack stack. So this is an all in one. But yes, the way it works is it's just a individual set of packages that you do install. And the way it works is the MySQL database provides the authentication. I'm pretty sure you could probably use another database like Postgres. I'm not sure about Mongo. I don't see why you couldn't use Mongo, but it's just another set of services that, or another a set of packages that you install, and they have a Python client. So basically, you're just setting up Python clients and MySQL, and then the database, the actual services goes into the database. So we know we need a image. You got any other questions?
No, that's enough to chew on for now.
All right, so we know we had the image that we had to provide. Let's go and do a flavor list. And so we probably only have this one flavor, right? Oh yeah, we got multiple, but we only had one image. But we can download multiple images too. So we can get QCow images out there on the network. So if we went here, we could say QCow2 images, Fedora. And I could grab one of these images here, cloud-based OpenStack download. Yep, yep, yep. So I could take this and upload this to my, let me see if I can get this to do what I need it to do. Let me see here. Yeah. All right. So I'm getting a QCloud image, and I'm gonna upload this to my image list as Fedora, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm downloading this image, then we're going to take it and we're going to send it up to my OpenStack uh, pack stack, and then we're going to make an image based off that Fedora image. So whenever that gets done, so far we have downloaded, we have information on the OpenStack image list, which is the zeros, but we're going to change that. And then we have the sizes. And then the sizes come with the number of CPUs. So 512, a small, a medium, and then the disk sizes are here too. So the one that we're going to try to do, we're going to push the limits of this because we know we have 320 gigs. So we're going to do 40 gigs. You say, what is a QCow? Why do you need the image? Because I just want, so basically you can look at it as a small base. I don't want to call it bare metal server, but you could. That's really what it is. It's a fresh install of a smaller installation of, say, for this one, in this case, Fedora. And then I can choose the size that I want it to be. So if you ever played with AWS, you pick a instance size. So AWS, I think AWS may run off of QCal too. I don't, I'm not sure if they're QCal,
AWS has something called an AMI, which is an Amazon Web
AMI.
Services.
Yeah, they're
Right.
AMI, but I'm not sure how much different it is from a QCal. I mean, they're just cloud images. They're just baseline images, but they tailor it for their stuff. But
Right.
that's
But the
really what.
idea is that there's basically a starting point that you can easily import into something else. So, with operating system already installed and so forth.
Mm-hmm. So
Would you say it's similar to like an OVA file that you get with
I
VirtualBox?
I mean, it is a because so if I got an OVA file, I can do Q image and change the VMDK to a actual QCal instance. So
Okay, so there is a direct conversion between them.
yeah, so it does its changes. I don't think it changes much in there. I need to go through and see what when I do call the Q image to see what it's actually changing, but I don't think it's changing much. So we want to upload this image, so we got to do QCal image create, and let's do a help. All right, so in here we can see that we need to pass it a container format, and I'll show you all this. The disk format that we want to have it in, and then the file in which we want it, and then the name, and should it be public or private. So let's clear here. Let's do OpenStack image list, which we know is just zeros, but we need more detailed information about it. So we can do an OpenStack image show zeros. So now it's going to give me information about it, right? It's going to give me the ID that was created with, the name in which it was uploaded in, and then whether it's active, the size, is it public? Can anybody get to it? Yes. And then here's that QCal instance in that container format. So me just knowing off the top of my head, I know I'm going to need to know, I know I'm put it in here as bare. I'm going to put it in as bare for my container format. I'm gonna upload it as a QCal uh, disk format, and then I'm not gonna set the minimum disk and the minimum RAM, but I can set the size on this, and then I'm gonna name this, and then I want to make it public. So based upon that, let's do OpenStack create image, and we know it's gonna be container. Oops, not equal equal container format, and we want that to be bare. And let's scroll back up. I don't think I have to put it equal to. Yeah, it's just bare and not underscore. It's underscore in the table. Peep that out. And then we know the disk format. Oh, it should be dash dash disk format. Should be QCal 2. And then we also know that we need to make this public. And I think it's just dash dash, let's see, dash dash
Yes, sir.
public. And now we needed to give it the destination of that, or where that file is located. So we just do dash dash file. And I'm not going to give it I'm not going to give it an ID because it's just going to generate an ID for me. But I could pass it an ID that I wanted to have. So let's go with dash dash file. And then let's look at where we're at here. Oh, where did it download to? That's a good question. Let's go back and grab all of this so we don't have to type this again. I'm going to put this over here. So I can bring it back. Control C, PWD. Well, where did I put it at, Tim? Oh, there it is. All right. Dash dash file. We could just say root for all intents purposes. Come on. I hate when it does that. Okay, root. And let's highlight this. And I think this is Fedora 26, so let's call it Fedora 26. All right, what is it not liking? OpenStack, create image dash dash container, bear dash dash this format. Let's grab this line so we don't have to rewrite it again. All right, and let's see what we're missing. So we got OpenStack. Let me see, OpenStack, create image dash dash help. What are we missing? Oh, you guys let me do it. It's OpenStack image create. That's why. It's what I said. It's the actual It's the actual thing you want to do, and then the action. Okay. So now it's gonna create this image for me, and it's gonna call it Fedora 26. So now we can go back and do the same thing we did before. We can do OpenStack image list. It's going to give me two images, the Ceros and then the Fedora, and notice that they're both active. So let's go backwards again, and we want to create that. Actual instance, or server. So we need one more thing. We need OpenStack network list. Key here is when you make the OpenStack network, when you make the instance, you need the network ID. And I'll show you this when it gets created. So I'm putting this off to the side here. So let's do OpenStack server create dash dash help. We already know that we need certain things here. We need the image, the flavor, which in our case is Fedora 26. The image is going to be, Fedora 26 is the image. The flavor is the M1 Tiny, or so forth and so on. And then we need the NIC. And remember when I just told you I need that net ID? So I got to do dash dash NIC, then net, then the net, that net UUID. So I have to give all of that. So let's clear. So let's do OpenStack server create dash dash image. We want to call it Fedora 26 dash dash flavor. And I have it off to the side. So my flavor options are M1 tiny, M1 small, M1 medium. We're going to do M1 medium, which is 40 gigs. And then we also need to check on our other stuff. We also need dash dash NIC. And I think you do equal to NIC ID. Oh, dash dash net ID. And I have that off to the side. Let's grab that net ID. And it's equal to. All right. What else do we need? So we have the image, we have the flavor. We don't have to specify the security group, the file, the block device, any of that thing. And let's just call this my Fedora 26. All right, so it's going off to create is this network, this image, not image, but server, and it's done, and we did it from command line. So if we go back over here to our actual project, it may log me out. It might have been too long. Okay, cool. And if I go under project and if I go under instances, someone has a question?
I'm sorry, I sang a lot of my Amazon courses on another computer.
Oh, and then so here is Fedora 26 up and it's active and it's running. Let's turn on, let's start all these other instances and see if these other instances will crap out on us. Uh, let's see, it's powering on, come back, power on, and then power on. Let's see if we can get it to crash. Oh, you're not allowed to start instance two. You know what? I may not be able to. I may not have ownership of that. But it looks like it's running. So it looks like they're all up and running. And so I can go over here to. There's a project overview, and it gives you an overview of. I have 4 instances running. How many virtual CPUs are running? How much gigs of RAM is being used? I don't have any floating IP set up, but we could work on that and so forth. So here's what it is. Here's what I got going. I did it all from command line. Um, and there are other things you can do, like you could do an OpenStack. Um, if you want to create a router, um, let's do a router list. So over here inside of network, and then we go to network topology, and let's look at it in a graph mode. Here's all my networks. Well, here's all my instances in the networks that they're on. Right. And so I can come back over here and I can create another network, another router, and attach it to one machine. I can do it from command line. I think the routers, some of the router stuff you have to do from command line. And then the domain stuff you have to do from command line. So that was that. Let's go back and check on our instances that was being installed here. Looks like this is it's got the answer file going and it's doing this thing. See, HTTP on host out of bounds. Your plugin may be trying to actually run something that already exists. Well, we'll let it die. This is the one thing we can see is over here. You see that the keystone is already created there. You can see that the actual let me clear that the file keystone admin was created. So it's gotten to this point. I'm not sure if it's ready to be logged in yet, but we can always try and see and where it's at in life. Come on, you can do it. I know it's been a long road, buddy. Let's see. Did it go up? Okay, it's up. Can I log in? All right. Yep, I can log in. Here's the true two test. Let's create an instance, and this time we're not gonna do it from command line. We're gonna do it right here inside the terminal. It may be up. It may be still working through some things here. It's not letting me type. I just I'll just choose something. See, oh yeah. See, the availability zones are not up. So that's not working. I don't have any images, so it's still downloading the source images. So it's still working, but I'm able to log in. I can get my size that I want, but I don't have any network pieces. So it's still doing this thing. And it tells me over here too that error retrieving. So it's doing this thing. Let's go over here. Oh, what is it called? Study 2? Here it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's doing this thing. We tried. But you at least got a chance to see how you can do this in OpenStack and set it up and start running. The key is to, once you do the OpenStack and Ansible setup, you should do OpenStack, Ansible, and roles. So you just have roles for, hey, I want to deploy. You could do what they call is actually called templates. They're called stacks. So let me pull that up. So here's OpenStack stacks. So basically, with OpenStack stacks, let's see, is it on this page? No. Basically, you'll configure a template to launch your machines. They don't have an example. Here's an example template. It need to be a YAML file. Oh, no, it don't need to be a YAML file. Let me see. Let's see. Let's do OpenStack stack example template examples. Let's see what IBM talking about. Okay, so yeah, so basically this is what it looks like. It looks like you have your name, like your version of it. And once you have your version of it, you tell it what, the instance type is going to be in Nova. It's going to be a server. You give it the key like you would in inside of Ansible. The same thing, the image, the flavor, all that is the same, and then you can deploy. So we could actually probably cut and paste this and run with it. Let's grab it. And let's go back to the other one here. And let's call this deploy stack YAML. Is it .yaml? Oh, Vim. All right, so today's date is what? 2017, what? The 19th? No, it's not the 19th. What's today? Yeah, it is the 19th. 0719. All right. So, okay. So the way it works is when you're doing stacks, these are the variables that you see. So this key, this string, key name, image ID, instance ID, all those names are the names that you need to write at command line in order to deploy this. So like my key name, my image, and my flavor are all the things. I think it go by key name, image ID, and instance type are the things that you go by versus what the resources are. I think these are the parameters, and this goes off and does its thing with the resources that you have provided to it. So let's go back and look at IBM, see if they run it from command line. No, no, no. So yeah, let's see. They don't have one that they ran from command line. Let's look. Stack, OpenStack, command line. And the reason why I'm bringing this one up is because you can, I don't know why I just keep doing it. You can set this up where you can set up 3 instances at one time or 4 instances at one time. So that's what's pretty cool. I don't see it. Let's see what the cheat sheet says. Let's see, stack. Oh, that's awesome. Ah, lunch stack. Here we go. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Yep. So I guess you can make it inside of here, but I like to do it from command line. Let's go in here. Let's see what they're talking about in here. Is it under admin? I don't see any stacks. What did they say it was? Dashboard, choose project. So click on stacks. I wonder if that's just for Red Hat. Because I don't see a stack in here. See the object store, see admin. I don't see stacks in here. Maybe that's older. Maybe you can't do stacks from inside of here. Access and security is your firewall rules. So that's what the security group I was talking about. Yeah, I don't see a stack in here. I had to look that up. Where's I don't think it's a stack in here. Every time I've done a stack, it's always been from command line. Yeah, I've always run stacks from command line. So any questions?